Good morning, students. Welcome back. Today we'll begin the poem. Poem number 4, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. It's written by the very well known poet W.B. Yeats. William Butler Yeats. His short name was W.B. Yeats. In this poem, the writer, the poet, is fed up of the city life. He is longing to go to the life which he lived long ago, that was in Innisfree. And as we know that he was an Irish poet, he also received the Nobel Prize for his work. And he is just longing to go to the place where he had spent lots of time during his childhood. Is longing for the peace and tranquility in his life, which is not available to him in his hectic city life. So he wants to go back to the place where he has lots of memories from his childhood and the time that he had spent there when he was a young boy. So this poem is a lyric, we can say that it can be sung also. It has the rhyme scheme of ABAB, means the first line as in the poem Innisfree rhymes with the third line free and B, the third line. So this is way, and the second line rhymes with the fourth, made and glad. This is the way the entire poem goes. So we'll just begin with the poem, a short poem by W.B. Yeats, where the poet says, I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree. He says, arise means to stand up, wake up. And the poet says, I will arise and go now, go to Innisfree. So he says that I want to spend my time, my rest of the time. And one more thing before we begin, that this is actually a real place. It's an island in Ireland, and it is a real place. Between there is an island in the middle part, in the middle portion of a lake. So it is not an imaginary place, but it's a real place. So maybe the poet might have been there during his childhood. So it's about a real location. You can see the picture of this island. This is the real picture of where the poet is talking about. So I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. So he says that I will wake up and I will arise, I will stand up, and now I want to go to Innisfree. What he wants to do there? And a small cabin built there of clay and wattles. A cabin is a wooden house, a small cabin, a room, means a small house he wants to build there when he will go there to the place. And he wants to build that with clay, means a type of a mud. Clay and wattles. Wattles are branches, sticks, small twisted sticks, and which we use for fence and to build houses also. So he says that I will go there and I will build a cabin there, and with help of the clay and wattles I will make a cabin there with the help of clay and wattles. Next is, this is all these are the things that the poet wants to do actually. He wants to stay away from his city life, the hustle and bustle of the city life. He wants to go back to the calm and peaceful place where there will be none of the other disturbance or the hectic life of the city. So he wants to leave all these things and go there and just relax. And he says that in the third line, 9 bean rows will I have. So there he goes, and now he is even telling us that what he is going to eat there, how is he going to stay there. So he says that there will be 9 bean rows, means beans, you understand, it's a kind of a vegetable. I will grow the beans, I will grow the beans there, and a hive for honeybee. And he says that even I will have the hive, that is the beehive. So he says that I will have the hive there for the honey, so I will get vegetables also to eat from there, and I will also get honey. So in lots of foreign country, honey is the staple food and a very important part of their everyday life. So he says that I will have a hive there, and there will be lots of bees in it, so I will even get the honey from it. So he says that 9 bean rows means a bit of farming is going to do. There is going to grow those beans there, and a hive of honey. The fourth line, and live long in the bee loud glade. Bee loud glade means the sound made by the bees, the humming of the bees, as we say. So he says that I will live in such a kind of an atmosphere where there will be lots of sound of the bees buzzing around. There will be no other any kind of other sound that will be disturbing to me. I will be amongst nature. No more sound of the traffic or the hustle and bustle of the city life. So, and live alone in the bee loud glade. Glade is a clear and open space. So there he wants to live. So this is the end of the first paragraph. This is what the poet wants to do. We'll begin the next paragraph, where he says, and I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow. What does he say? I will go there, and after doing these many things, I will have peace of mind, and I will be relaxed there. Cause, and later on he says, for peace comes dropping slow. He says that peace doesn't come immediately. In today's world, the main thing that we long for is peace of mind and peace all around. We don't have peace, we have everything, but we don't have peace. So this is what the poet is longing for, and what he wants to say. And I shall have some peace there. So when he will go there, he will do the little bit of farming, having the honeycomb, making vitals. With the help of the vitals, he will create a small cabin. He will make, and in the bee loud glade sound, he will be sitting there enjoying life. And he says that after that, I will be at peace amongst the nature, because there will be no kind of other disturbance. So it will be a very peaceful place that I will love to stay there. And peace there, for peace comes dropping slow. And he also says that peace doesn't come immediately. We have to work for it. So slowly there will be peace all around. Dropping from the veil in the morning. Now, veil is actually actually used for women when they cover their face. Many times during the marriage also, in Christianity also, they have the wedding dress which is covered with white colored cloth, that can also be said as veil. Even in Hinduism, they put the we say the ghungat, it is also known as a veil. So it is used, any kind of a cloth which is used for covering the face. So dropping from the veil in the morning to where the cricket sing. So he says that dropping from the veil in the morning. So he is just giving a personification about the veil in the morning, means just as the women cover their face, in the same way there will be either the fog or the clouds that will be covering the entire atmosphere. And as you remove the cloth and you can the veil from the face, and you can see the face, in the same way when the fog or the clouds will be removed and there will be sunlight and everything will be clear, just in that way, dropping from the veil in the morning. So when it will be removed, everything will be clear, and at that time, from where the cricket sing. And the cricket is just an insect like a grasshopper, but it makes a sharp shrill sound. During the night we often listen, that is the sound of the cricket. So that is what he is waiting for, that beautiful sound of the cricket. And the morning in the morning he will listen to the beautiful sound of the cricket. Their midnights all a glimmer means twinkling, shining, and a noon a purple glow. After that, when he says, see, now he is describing all the different that he will spend during the day. So he is telling that there during the midnight there will be glimmer, twinkling of the stars, and the glimmering of the that glimmer sound, the glimmer light that will cover the entire atmosphere. So at the midnight when he will just see the glimmering, twinkling, and during the afternoon when it will be noon, the noon will, how will it be? The noon will be with a purple glow. It will be very beautiful and it will be purple. The color will be purple. So at the noon it will be purple colored. So this is what he is imagining. And now the third thing that he says about it is about the evening, the fourth line. An evening full of linnets wing. So morning with a glimmering, twinkling, noon will be purple, and when it will be the evening time, there will be the flapping of the wings of the linnet bird. This actually this bird we don't have in India. It's a foreign bird. But it's just like a sparrow and a small bird. So brown and reddish color bird. It is called a linnet. So at the evening, when the evening will be there, those linnets will be flying all over across and coming back to their nest, and they will be making a lot of noise. The beautiful sound created by their wings. So I want to listen to that sound of the linnet's wing. But that when during the so that is the linnet bird. Now we come to the final paragraph, paragraph number 3. I will arise and go now. See the same, the line that we had in the beginning of the poem. The first line was I will arise and go now. Again the same line is repeated. So we can say that it's the figure of speech also we can just add to it as it is a repetition. I will arise and go now for always day and night. Now what he says that now I am just very eager to go to Ennisfree. I want to go to that place. So I will arise and go now for always night and day. Means he says that during the night or during the day I keep on thinking of the place. I just want to go there. I just want to visit that place because it has lots of memories with me. I loved that place when I was a boy. Still now during my the busy schedule of my life I am unable to go there, but now anyhow I want to go to that place and just have a good time there and relax and have a peace in my mind and my body too. So he says that last paragraph, first line, I will arise and go now for always day and night. I hear the lake water lapping with the low sound by the shore. So now what is lapping means splashing. We have seen when the waves come to the shore and they make a sound, that is known as the lapping of the waves. So he says that I want to. It's a lake. This place is it's a real place that I've told you, and there is a lake, a very huge lake. So there are waves also in those lakes, and when the water comes to the shore, it makes a sound. When it crashes to the shore, it makes a sound. So I hear the lake water lapping with low sound by the shore, and that is making the sound when it is just the waves are coming to the shore. So it is making that sound, and he loves to listen that cause it will be so peaceful that I will be able to listen to the sound of the waves also when they crash to the shore. So here he says that this is also one of the thing that describes the lake also there, because it's an island, the place there. I hear the lake water lapping with low sound by the shore, while I stand on the Broadway or on the pavement grey. Now roadway and pavement are somewhat the same. That is the side portion of the road where the pedestrians walk, where the people, those who are not driving the vehicles, can just walk. So it's a pavement. So now the poet is where actually he has not reached that place. He is thinking about it. Right now he is in his own place, in his city life. So he is thinking about, he is imagining that while I stand on the roadways or on the pavement grey, because it is grey colored mostly the road and the pavements are. So he is telling that when I am standing there, and now he is thinking about the place, that when he will go there and that what he wants to do there. Right now he has not reached there, but he is thinking about the place. He is imagining about the place. So right now he is not yet at the Lake of Innisfree. So next is the last line. I hear it in the deep heart's core. What does he say? At the end of the line, he says, I hear it in the deep heart core. So he says that he's imagining, he is saying that he wants to be there, and that is the sound that comes to his. So the last line says that I hear it in the deep heart's core. So the poet says that this is the sound that is coming from his heart, from the inner depth of his heart. He wants to go there, he wants to visit that place, and he is longing to go to that place. That is why it is said also in the introduction that it is the poet's longing for peace and tranquility in that place. He wants to visit that beautiful place where he was actually during his childhood, where he had spent, maybe he had spent a lot of time during his childhood there. So this is how the poem ends, for the poet's longing for the beautiful place that he wants to be. And it's a beautiful poem again about nature and longing for the desire to just run away from the busy life and just spend the time at a beautiful place where there is total silence, tranquility, and peace all around. So it's about a real place. So what the poet had actually experienced. So here we come to the end of the poem. Thank you for participating and listening to the poem. We will do the question answers in our next chapter, in our next session, sorry. And after that, I'll just give you the explanation. You are free to write down the question answers. Those are given in the text on page number 54 and 55. Until we meet again, thank you very much, and stay safe, stay at home.